Magandang araw mga mag-aaral. Ako si Maestro Philip Ramos. Nag-aanyaya sa bawat isa sa inyo na samahan niyo ako sa panibagong paghihimay sa bawat talakayan tungo sa asignaturang Mapeh. Matuto, makialam, at maging handa ang isip. Handa bukas sa pagtuklas ng music, arts, physical education at health. Handa ka na ba? Handa na rin ako at tara na sabay-sabay tayong
Kung bagong tunghay kayo sa channel na ito, maaari po sana kayo ay mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell upang kayo ay ma-update sa mga bagong labas na videos na maaaring makatulong sa inyo para sa sarili ninyong pagpapaunlad.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another discussion and activity, but before that, please do subscribe, and hit the bell button, for you to notify to our new video lesson.
Neoclassical art emerged in the 1760s and was popular throughout Europe and North America until the 1850s. Breaking away from the emotionally charged Baroque style of previous years, neoclassical artists would look back to the classical style of art. Neoclassical art can sometimes appear cold and unemotional, but in fact, some of the most popular neoclassical themes were emotional subjects, like patriotism, sacrifice, and courage. It was the style neoclassical artists employed in depicting these themes that differed dramatically from the Baroque artists of the past. Neoclassical artists shunned the sensuality and the shallow character of Rococo's style, and aimed instead for the symmetry, proportion, and simplicity achieved during the Renaissance. Neoclassical style is known for its formal composition, accurate detail, and solid lines, which sometimes came at the expense of lighting and atmosphere. It's also known for its classical and mythological themes with contemporary settings and costumes. Common themes included patriotism, honor, and human rights. Archaeology was a brand new science at the time, and it sparked public interest in all things ancient. The discovery of ruins of ancient cities like Pompeii gave modern viewers the opportunity to see ancient art for themselves. Simplicity and subtle grandeur marked the art of these ancient cultures, and with its rediscovery, it quickly came back into vogue. Both artists and the public at large were captivated by the classical style of Greco-Roman art. Johann Winckelmann, the father of archaeology, considered the idealized style of ancient art, Greek in particular, a beauty more perfect than nature. Winckelmann actually appealed to artists of his time to copy ancient style, which he described as timeless and ideal. Neoclassical artists did not need to be persuaded, and even competed amongst themselves to produce the best imitations of Greco-Roman style. Both Greek and Roman styles inspired imitations throughout the neoclassical period. However, since far more examples of Roman sculpture remained, this style with the sculptors of the day. Many sculptors actually insisted that their subjects wear Roman-style clothing to capture the essence of Roman style. Despite their idealization of the Roman aesthetic, neoclassical artists depicted the flaws of their subjects as ancient Greco-Roman artists would never do. Greco-Roman artists valued ideal looks and form as opposed to realism, but neoclassical artists tended to make some allowances in that respect. One of the leading sculptors of this age, Jean-Antoine Houdon, created a statue of George Washington. Fortunately, he did not depict the president wearing a Roman toga or sporting a Greek godlike physique. The statue can be seen today in Virginia State Capitol's Rotunda. In another sculpture, called Psyche Revived by Cupid's Kiss, a well-known sculptor named Antonio Canova depicts a scene from Apuleius's Metamorphosis. The scene shown in the sculpture is the moment of Psyche's death after she disobeys Cupid's mother Venus by opening a flask. Cupid finds Psyche dead and revives her with his love. This work's classical inspiration, fine detail, and mixture of realism and idealism are characteristic of the neoclassical period. In the large-scale painting, The Oath of the Horatii, Jacques-Louis David, who is considered one of the most important artists of the neoclassical era, modeled his soldiers on the lines of the ideal Greek warrior represented in so many classical works. The focus was, once again, on the ideal human form. David was immensely impressed with the ancient art uncovered at Pompeii, and his work clearly reflected this. In literature and social tradition, the Neoclassical movement can be described as an offshoot of the Age of Enlightenment, which began in the late 17th century. Philosophers and political writers like Voltaire and Rousseau spread the new philosophies of the Enlightenment regarding science, morality, government, and basic human rights. Enlightenment age thinkers wanted to stop blindly following traditions and age-old practices, and valued reason and individualism above all else. These ideas sparked revolutions around the world, and both the French Revolution and the Industrial Revolution took place during this tumultuous and radical time. The Neoclassical movement swept through the architectural world as well. The Arc de Triomphe, one of the most easily recognized structures in the world, is a classic example of how the Roman Empire's architecture was imitated by neoclassical architects. Typically, the neoclassical architect was likely to focus on simple geometric forms, while ensuring that buildings' proportions were of a grand scale. Modern-day examples of neoclassical architecture stretch across continents to include the White House in Washington, D.C. The neoclassical movement spread all over the world to some degree. Towards the end of the 19th century, the neoclassical school of thought coexisted with Romanticism, a new artistic style which was just beginning to emerge.
For today's learning session, I do hope that you learned something from the given topic. Till next learning session of Embracing Education in my learning portal. Again, this is Sir Philip signing off for today's session. Bye-bye! Keep safe, Mapeh learners!